Sukkah Tashin Pei Bes, Tashin Pei Gimel, Tishnef plus Gedoylois. Ishmas Yehuda Leben Abraham Chaim, right?
Abraham Chaim ben Yehuda.
Oh, excuse me. Oh, Chaim ben Yehuda Leben. Okay, so we're gonna talk. We're gonna try to explain, understand. You know, you received the kavanah, so I gave it to you, so you're gonna understand a lot easier once we have. But this will lead you to even understand a lot better the kavanahs. When you daven, when you do the lulav and everything, this will enlighten you totally. So let's go on the psukim. Share screen. Where is this one? Share. Sukkah is there. It is. So twice we gotta take Parshas in Parshas Mishpatim and in Parshas Emoyer. The Shalosh Regalim are brought down. Shalosh Regalim Tachog Li. The Baruch Hu doesn't say it's for us, it's for him. The whole inyan of the regalim is only for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. As Chag HaMatzos, Tishmer, Shivas Yamim, it's going to be 7 days. Because you came out of Mitzrayim, Velo Europe and Rekam. Chag HaKatzir, Ishavuos, and Bikurim Ma'asecha, Shetizra Basadei. Here we go, the land, and that's going to be the field this time. The Chag HaAsiv, the harvest, the Chag of the harvest, B'tzei Sashana. I mean, don't they have a name, these regalim? One is called Pesach, one is called Shavuos, one is called Sukkot, right? Here it's Chag HaMatzos, Chag HaKatzir. Like, everything is related to the land here. Everything that grows, it's like a skach. And here, Chag HaAsiv, the Chag of the harvest. B'tzei Sashana, at the end of the year. I'm really sorry, we just started the year. How can you tell me it's the end of the year? When you gather your stuff from the field. I don't want to go too deep in the psukim because we have enough depth to go in the shir. I just want to strike the chord that the psukim themselves are going to guide us exactly where we need to arrive. So here, let's focus on this Chag HaAsif. I don't have a field. I don't have to do sukkahs because you basically make it dependent, the sukkahs, the Chag of Sukkahs, on the fact that be'ospecha, while you gather, in Parashas Emoyer, Pasuk says, "B'chamisha asayim lachodesh hashvi." If we had time, and I mean, 1 second, we just read be'asar lachodesh hashvi, Yom Kippur. It's right the shtickle before it in Parashas Pinchas. Why do you have to repeat me again, Bacham? I know we in the 7th month. We started from Rosh Hashanah, you know, Bechad Lachodesh, then it's Be'asar Lachodesh, now it's B'chamisha Asayim Lachodesh. Fine. Be'ospechem, oh, again. You really make it a point here. Be'ospecha, singular this time is plural. Be'ospechem, what if I don't have a field? Oh, now you're saying maybe majority of Bnei Yisrael. So then why did you write be'ospecha before in singular? Estevua sa'aretz, the harvest from the land. Oh, now it's not the field anymore, it's the land. Oh, we changed, because we changed Chumash, we changed the denomination. Tochoigu es Chag Hashem. Now it's not Li anymore like before. It's Chag Hashem. Shivas Yomim, 7 days. You have your fingers ready to count? 7 days, right? It says, Tachoigu es Chag Hashem, Shivas Yomim, 7 days. Now look at the bomb in the pasuk. Bayom harishon Shabbos, on the first day is Yom Tov, and the 8th day is Yom Tov. One second. We said 7 days, right? So how can you have 8 here? I don't know anything about Bayom Hashemini Shabbos. It's supposed to be 7 days, so you can't tell me the 8th. Or tell me 8 days here. But you can't have it both ways. Since we have learned all the parashas together of the Shemitah, of the Yovel, we went quite in deep in the side of 7. Did I put this pasuk here? No, but every time we have 7 days is Bayom Harishon Shabbosin uBayom HaShevi'i Shabbosin. The 7th day is always Kodesh. Shvi'i Kodesh. 6 days in the week. The 7th is Shabbos. The only place the Shvi is not Kodesh is Sukkah. Why? Why is the Shvi not Kodesh in Sukkot? It's Kodesh by every single thing we know. The Shemitah, the 7th. The 7 times 7th is the Yovel. Whenever you're going to find 7, we're going to know that it's Kodesh. But by Sukkot, no. Shivas Yomim Bayom Harishon Shabbosin. The 7th, we forget about it. And by the 8th, no, it becomes Kodesh. We'll see the rest when we're gonna get a bit more advanced and get into the inyan of the lulav. Right now, I just want to focus on the sukkah, on the inyan, on the soul of sukkahs. But sukkah is stage vushibasi. I mean, that's you can tell me. Ki basukoi so shafti es bnei Yisrael beitzioi sam eretz Mitzrayim basukoi sukoi with all type of orthograph, with a vav, without a vav, you're going to be able to do all this. However, you are not capable of calling it Chag HaSukkos. About Yaakov, it says, after he won the Malach of Esau, the Yaakov nosa Sukkos. Yaakov traveled to Sukkos. Vayaslo bais, he built a house. We'll see the pasuk later. But I just want to stress one little point here, because this pasuk is going to come around and around, even on Shmini Atzeres. This pasuk has soides to no end. Ulmiknehu asa sukkos, and to his flock he made sukkos. He called this place sukkos. Okay, when we make the cabana, we call it sukkos. What's the problem of calling it sukkos? Why are you going to find me all kind of names? A few of the questions we had, you can see that in the Mechilta of Reb Shimon Bar Yochai, he had them. But he went with the Shita in Nedarim that every neder, no matter when it was done, the end of the year is Sukkot, and you have to pay your neder there. Halacha lemaaseh, we hold three regalim. It's better to pay right away, but you have 3 regalim before you over on your neder. So he holds, why is Betseis Hashana? Why is Sukkot called here Betseis Hashana is because it refers to the Lashon that we have learned together on Aser te Aser, that you have to do Meiser from anything that comes out, Hayoitse Hasade, that comes out of the field, Shana, every year. So when is the Meiser? So the Torah, according to Shin Bar Yochai, the Torah comes to inform you that Lemaisrois, for the Meiser, the end of the year is Sukkot. Chag HaAsif, because then the year, 1 second. I mean, conceptually, I can make it stand. But if I read the pasuk, we're going to see that it doesn't fit the words. Because you have to bring migo. So when is Sukkot? When you started the harvest also of grapes. Migornecha. When you started, not finished it, started. So you see it's not the end. Mi yikvecha. So we see we still have, we in the middle, we in the process of harvesting, and then Sukkot has to come specifically at that time. It seems to be that this Chag HaAsif is a pointer to teach us something deeper that we don't see from where we're at right now. So the Mechilta on the second question also, be'ospecha es kol ma'aseh yadecha, that you see, I'm going to go in the pasuk. I don't want to lose you because we have to keep on the lashon of the pasuk. Here in Parshas Mishpatim, it says be'ospecha es ma'aseh yadecha v'chag ha'asif. This is where we're going to focus on this pasuk mostly, and this part mostly. So I'm not going to dig anywhere else because this is the ikar here. V'chag ha'asif b'tzeis hashana. So according to Shin Bar Yochai, b'tzeis hashana is because the meiser has to have a date. Is yotzei hashana shana. So this is b'tzeis hashana to tell you lemeiser. Okay, doesn't say it. Be'ospecha, while you harvest, while you gather, es ma'asecha. Here it doesn't say your harvest. But you understand, min hasadeh, from the field, whatever you have. This basically includes the tvua, the anovim, whatever you have that's seasonal at that time. Apples, maybe apples too. Yeah. So anyway, he learns from the Mechilta learns from this that each person is obligated to have a certain level of gathering. Because it says in the pasuk in general, and it speaks in singular, meanings it's giving an injunction to every person that he should have some level of gathering in order to do. This is really mind-boggling. It says in the pasuk, "Ki lo yechdal evion mikerev haaretz." HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave a haftacha. There will never cease to be poor people. So how are they going to be mekayim this? Since Chag Asif has to be, is an obligation for everyone, so you can have sukkahs. Otherwise, you cannot have sukkahs. So why is sukkah so dependent on this gathering, on this harvesting? Says in the pasuk, Chag HaSukkos ta'aseh lecha shivas yamim. This time, the Torah in Devarim, and Moshe Rabbeinu repeats in Mishneh Torah, when he repeats to the Bnei Israel, he tells them, Chag HaSukkos, in Parashas Re'etz, Chag HaSukkos. He calls it by the name. Shivas yamim, 7 days. He goes again, Be'ospecha, in the Lashon of Yachid. Migornecha umiyigvecha. The goren is the grains, and yigvecha is the wines. Yigva, where you put the press. And since he says migornecha, from, as long as you have started the process, sukkahs can happen. The Sifra says in Parashas Emor, what do you mean be'ospechem, while you harvest? If the season is late, Chazal must make the Ibur Hashana. They must make what do you call it in English? I forgot. Add a month. Because sukkahs cannot happen unless it's the harvesting season. Now we see clearly that the Sifra says that it's taka, an obligation. It cannot be otherwise. And that's what the pasuk says, Be'ospecha migornecha mikvecha. And so we have here Tvuas Haaretz. We have Migornecha, the Goren, and the Yekev. These are the three things that apparently the Torah is makpi, that the person should harvest before the beginning of Sukkot. And again, Sukkot cannot happen, and if the season, because of the days of the Levana, is too early, it would fall in the beginning of September. No, Sukkot, they have to add a month in Adar, so it will start later on, later September, when the season already of harvesting the grapes and so forth has started. Okay. Then what is this game? Sukkos, Chag HaSukkos, Chag HaAsif. If that's the criteria, I'm fine with this criteria. But if this is a criteria, stick to it. Tell me Chag HaAsif, because I want to teach you something, that's all. But don't stop playing games and tell me, oh, Chag HaSukkos, Chag HaDis. So, 1 second. I'm sitting in the sukkah and my head is spinning. What exactly? So the money to the roisechem. Kiba sukkah is shavti. The mitzvah sukkah. The mitzvah this. The mitzvah sasi. What is exactly what I'm supposed to have? I am not a spinner. I like things squares, clear, put in boxes, so it can be very organized. So how do we do this? What do we understand here? Moshe Rabbeinu, when he repeated those same words, even though he made it dependent upon the harvesting, he said Chag HaSukkos. So why couldn't the Torah in Mishpatim in Parashas Emor say also Chag HaSukkos? Because Sukkah, I understand what it is. the Rashbam says something, a pshat, which is haflei vafeli. On Parshas Emor, on the pasuk, which is the main kavanah. Mishnah Berurah brings it down in the Pes Yosef. Leman yedu doroisechem. Time to see that pasuk in because it's going to become essential. Leman yedu doroisechem, so the future generation will know. You see here, well, the vav was not working on the keyboard. No vavs, they're gone. Both of them disappeared. Kibasukois, okay. I don't know why, like the kibbutz here, there's no vav, okay. Hoishafti es bnei Yisrael. You know how to translate Hoishafti? You have a kid that you take the train or you want to put it in the car, you sit him down, you install him in his place. That's to be moishiv someone. He's not yoshev, you are moishiv. You are placing him. Oh, really? HaKadosh Baruch Hu placed us in the Sukkah when we were in the Midbar? Or we built the Sukkah in the Midbar? Can tell me, it's a miracle already that the Midbar is shmama, there's nothing growing there, and the trees they have taken from Mitzrayim were for the Mishkan, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu made a miracle, they found trees, they cut them, they created Sukkahs. That's great. It's a big miracle. But this Hoishafti, I do not understand it. It doesn't say anywhere in the Torah that HaKadosh Baruch Hu took the Bnei Israel and made them enter in the Sukkah. And guess what? Behoitzii oisam. I know some would want to kvetch, but I like pshat and the words. I like to explain them like Rashi does, according to pshat. The grammar, with the grammar on it. Behoitzii means while I was taking them out of Mitzrayim. Bnei Israel, while they were going out of Mitzrayim, did not go to Sukkot. They traveled. But the pasuk is saying something else here, and this is the main kavanah of the Sukkah. Obviously, to do the mitzvah that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is mechayev us, this is the completion of the kavanah, but we must know that when we sit in the sukkah, if a person doesn't think, al pi pshat, leman yedu doroisechem, so it's to teach the future generation, ki basukkah iso yishavti es bnei Yisrael boitzio isam et mitzvah is not yotzeh. Clear halacha, we're not talking about Kabbalah here, we're talking about Shat Pashat. The Rashbam, the grandson of Rashi, takes this to the next level. In agriculture, when he starts harvesting, and he had his storages, completely empty because it was the end of the year. He was running low his stock. He was nervous about the new harvest, and it sees, Baruch Hashem, the grain is ready, ripe. It could have rained one more time and destroy everything. And Baruch Hashem, everything is, and when he harvests, it's full. Can't even close the doors. What a contentment. I'm good for 1 year. No more thing. I can sleep at night. Right? Has wine he can sell. He's going to make a great parnasa that year. It's going to be, and the grape is good. The wine is going to come out perfect and so forth. He feels reinvigorated. He has a new life. Hashem tells him, get out of your house. 1 second. Finally, I reap, the fruit of my efforts. You're telling me to get out? Yes. Okay, what? Where? Go to Yerushalayim. Be for Sukkot in Yerushalayim. Kadosh Baruch Hu, please understand. I have a wife and children. I live next to Nahariya, border with Syria. It's only a shtetl of a few farmers. It's a moshav, with a few farmers. And, I'm going to leave my families. I'm going to leave all my parnasa behind. What may happen? What can happen? I'm going to go. And you're telling me now, do chag l'Hashem, v'samachta, you have to be happy, v'samachta b'chagecha. Not only I'm going to be worried, I'm going to be dead worried. Kadosh Baruch Hu say, this is the mitzvah. This mitzvah is called Chag Asif. Why? Because when a person eats and fills himself, ve'ochalta ve'savarta. As soon as you're filling up yourself, you feel satisfied, you're satisfying yourself, you kick the can. Vayishman Yeshurun Vayivat. It's automatic. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, before you do that, and I'm going to punish you and take everything away, get out of your house. Out of concern for you, and only for you, I'm asking you to leave the house. Wow. Rashbam says, if that person would stay, he would say, Koichi ve'oitzem yadi. Doesn't say how frum, how not frum he is, how yeshivish, not yeshivish, this, that. He just tells you this is the natural process, how a person gets destroyed by the mundane, the world, by the gashmias and everything. It has an effect. If you put acid in your hand, it's gonna burn. It's the teva, it's what's happening. If you keep your stuff and you stay with it while you harvested it, and while, you have worries, trust Hashem. But the biggest part is HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants to teach you v'zacharta in Parashas Eikev ki hu hanoisen lecha koyach la'asos chayim. The only lesson HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants to teach on Sukkot is that he gives you the koyach to make things happen. And you, by leaving your house, you're preventing yourself from falling into the koichi ve'oitzem yadi. Great. This pshat is, when I read this Rashbam, I read it maybe 30 times. I was jumping with the explanation here. Let's try to go into this word of koichi ve'oitzem yadi to understand what's so bad. Now we're going to dig in a little bit. If we take here, something I could have just copied it from my board here. Let's take this. Copy. Koichem ve'oitzem yadi, what is HaKadosh Baruch Hu so much against? And Kaviyochel HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to trouble himself to keep safe your family and your parnasa and everything, but make you go through that hardship to leave your house at the moment you want to stay there. What's so bad about it? What if someone says, what has he done? We're going to have those coming back a few times, so I'll explain them once and for all for today, because I don't expect you to remember all the time. These are three tremendous names of Hashem. Ab, which is the word for chesed. Kasa, which is venake, the gematria of venake. So you know those names. Yud, K, Vav, K. In Chochmah, the Yud of the name of Hashem, taking like this. In the world of Atzilus, this is 72. Yud, K, Vav, K is 72. It's right here. Do I have the K here? Kept them. Here's the Kasa. Aleph, K, Yud, K. So how does it work? It's the Yud K Vav K, this one. Let me copy it here. So you have the one copy. Whenever we see that, it's a general rule. There's never, that's why the Torah calls a man not married half a man, because there's never in Shamayim, in the Oilamus, a male side without a female. Yud Ke Vav Ke is always the male. The Nukva, what we call the female, is the Aleph Hey Yud Hey, which is always, what is it? One is inside the Pnimius, one is on the outside, like this. And the cover, the envelope, is called the Aleph K Yud K, which is in the Bina. But there's always a Yud K Vav K inside. No matter which midah you're taking, it always has inside a Yud K Vav K, period. So this is what we have. The Yud of the Shem of the name of Hashem, the Hey, Chachma, Bina. This name, you know it better than I can explain it. Ata Gibor Le'olam Hashem. You say it every day, 3 times in davening. This is the name Yehuda, the son of Yaakov Avinu, used to be Mekaven when he used to go to war. And his sword, it says, was never coming back empty. His Gvura, the Gvura of Yehuda, was coming from that name. Yehuda was someone who was sitting and learning the whole time. How did he have such a Gvura? Like in Parshas Vayishlach, in the Yalkut Shimoni, jumping over walls, huge walls around cities. And sometimes they had 7 walls, and he was hopping from one wall to another with that name. Tremendously named, which are on the top, all of them. A person who says, Koichi ve'oitzem yadi, he's reneging, Kaviyachol, the existence of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. When a person, miserable person, who's only a passenger in this world, a visitor in this world, can come up to think that he is it, at this point he uprooted, he just cut his own roots. Because this is reneging HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And that's why HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to prevent, because there's no coming back from that. If to prevent a person from doing such a big avla, it tells him, get out of your house. The main mitzvah is, we saw last week, Vahashevoiso el levavecha, ki Hashem hu ha'elokim. You have to internalize it into your heart that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is running the Teva. Ha'elokim is Gematria Teva. He is the one running the Teva. This is the mitzvah. You know, Yotzei by doing davening and chuckling and moving your head and, catching flies on the same time. First of all, by the way, is just also to do this during Shemoneh Esrei to start moving all the side. I don't know why Rashi Yeshivas don't tell this and don't teach that. It's written clear, black on white, Shulchan Aruch. So I don't know. We stand Kovedik way before HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And the mitzvah always is to internalize as much as we can. Now, if we take Vahashevoy, I don't need to go back. If we take Vahashevoisa el levavecha, we did that gematria, but not with the same outcome. We did it with different outcome. So I'm going to bring this outcome tonight. Vahashevoisa el levavecha. What do I have to put in my heart? So Vashevoisa levavecha equals 804. 804, coincidentally, it's 3 times 268 that we just saw. It's exactly 3 times. Oh, I only have 2 hands. Oh, the Zohar says you have 3 hands. Not 2, 3. We have the kav of Chesed, the kav of Gvura, and the kav of Rachamim, which I consider the 3 hands. And on neither one, Vashevoisa levavecha, on neither one, Chaz v'Shalom, should we approach that Nisayan here. That's the main inyan that Chag HaAsif comes to teach us according to the Rashbam. Even the Ramban HaKadosh says that Chag HaAsif is a Oidah to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I feel great, and I don't really have to daven anymore, the morning, I can go quick, a quick feeling, a quick this, a quick that. But Hashem, I have enough money in the bank. I don't have to Baruch Aleinu. I don't have to Shema Tefillah, all this golas or whatever. I don't need to. The rabbi comes to me and he'll be happy to bless me with the matana I'm going to give him. That's the. So the Ramban said, no, Chag HaAsif is specifically so you should make a hoidah to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And you should keep it, if you wanted to keep on that way, you should thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu that he keeps the laws of nature. It doesn't have to keep the laws of nature. He can close the rain, the gates of the rain here, and he won't flood. You won't have any water. It would be a midbar, like in California right now. No, HaKadosh Baruch Hu keeps it for you, and he makes it grow. As long as you can connect to that feeling, you will thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu. When a person already reached the level where his wealth reached a crazy level, then he is lost. So we see now here the first big stepstone we have put down is Chag HaAsif. We're not going to go into the other names for the other Yom Tovim, but Hashem in the other Yom Tovim will be time to talk about them. But here, Sukkahs come to teach me to be thankful to HaKadosh Baruch Hu for whatever I have in my life. That's the reason HaKadosh Baruch Hu made it, because it's not only, it's called Ma'asecha. It's not only for what, that the harvesting, because everyone became an agriculture now in the Jewish nation. You're not going to have metal workers. You're not going to have cart builder. You're not going to have teachers. You're not going to have Rebbeim, Rashi Yeshivas. No. It's a tchuna. It has to be a midah. Now, we're going to go back to the pasuk and understand our sukkah, because our sukkah, we said, depended on that pasuk. Leman yedu doresechem. Let me get going with this. Done with this. Doresechem ki basukkah so yishavti es bnei Yisrael. We have problem with basically all the language of the pasuk. Yeah. And doresechem. Why am I missing my vav? So automatically, when there's a mistake, quote unquote, orthographic mistake, I know the pasuk tells me I'm not here to teach you grammar or whatever. I'm here to point out that these words you have to calculate. I'm here to give you a number, not to give you words. Sometimes the vav comes off and on and off, like in Sukkah, comes to teach us something. But once I see the Doresechem like this, I know. So if you take Leman Yedu Doresechem, we're going to copy it. Oh, what you're going to see. The Torah really meant. You remember the bracha HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave Avram. Va'avarcha mevarachecha umkalelcha ha'oyer. Once you start doing the mitzvah of Sukkah, right away there's a kitrug. Right away the Satan comes, says, hey, 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 hey. These guys, that Shuban Yom Kippur, it was hab. Give me. It was, I need parnasa, I need this. As soon as you give them, look what they do. They kick the can. It's not a real tshuva. They do not deserve to be in the tzila de mehem nusa. They don't deserve to be in the anane kavod. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, I have to do something in order to shut up these mekatregim. On Yom Kippur, we give him the Seir. Seir equals 580 tefillin, equals Sam, Lili, I don't want to say her whole name, together, Hayetzer Hara, Harishah, because she's the one who is the bad one. So we know that we make him go, we don't deserve. So we have to do something in order to cancel the kitrug. Here we're arriving to Sukkot, supposedly clean after Yom Kippur, ki bayoim hazeh yechaper aleichem letaher eschem mikol chatoisechem. Do you pay attention to the words of the pasuk? Chatois is the lowest level. Is lachatoim laavoines velapshaim. Avoin is more. And Pesha is even more. So what HaKadosh Baruch Hu is mechaper on Yom Kippur is the chataim, the low stuff, the small stuff. What about the heavy load stuff? The avoinus and the peshaim? That we had to work, right? Or Yom Kippurim mechaper, Toile and Yisurim and Sham, all kind of things we know from the Gemaras. Okay, we arrive in Sukkot, the Tanis was hard, the Tefillah was hard. As much as some guys want to feel good, I'm telling you something. I never had that feeling of accomplishment me after Yom Kippur. I always have a very big suffix. Have we done enough? Have we think enough? What if we haven't reached? Well, we could have saved 5 more minutes and make something better. Just look at my whole Yom Kippur. Where can I, this is the cheshbon I always have after Yom Kippur. Everyone asking, my mother always asking, well, weren't you happy like everybody after Yom Kippur? I said, because I do not have a paper signed, you succeeded. Yes, the Ari HaKodesh says we on a higher Madrega after Yom Kippur than we were before. For sure, we are Madrega of Malachi. But maybe we could have been even higher. But a little bit more effort, a little more 5 minutes. Where do I care where I reached? If I messed up a much bigger Madrega. I'm looking at what I didn't reach. Not looking at contentment, Oh, I'm here, I'm good. That's enough for me. Like Schwarzes make $5, don't come to work the next day. No, you have to be a go-getter. So the Torah says here, you don't have the Seir. And right as Sukkah start, someone knocks on the door and say, hey, no. The Bina cannot come down, which is down on the Kabbalah. The whole Indian of Sukkah equals 91. It's Chav Vav inside and Samech Hey on the outside. If you take the word Sukkah, I'm going to color them in a different thing. Chavav is Yud Ke Vav Ke, is on the inside, and Samech Hey equals Aleph Dalet Nun Yud on the outside. So, excuse me just a second. Sorry. Anyway, so you have the Adnos, the Shechina wrapping around, always that concept of the female being around the male. Under the chuppah is the female going around the chasan, the collar going around the chasan. So it's always that same thing. And you see here that you have the Yud Ke Vav Ke, HaKadosh Baruch Hu himself is going to come in the Sukkah with the Shechina HaKadosha is going to come to us. So the Satan, right when Sukkah is going to start and everyone who toiled so hard to do his Sukkah is going to stop and say, no, there's a kitruk. HaKadosh Baruch Hu needs a reason. Now we're going back to Avraham Avinu. He made a promise to Avraham Avinu, if someone comes to curse you, I will curse him. So the Satan is walking on eggs that day. Whoa. I know it's Sukkot and HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't like when I'm Mikatrik, but I don't want these guys to receive all the benefit of it, because what happens in Sukkot is the whole shira of Even HaShesiyah that comes back. All the shefa of the whole year for the whole entire world will pass through you, each one of us as Bnei Israel. And all the nations will live through it. Now, the retention is the question. How much are you going to keep? How much are you going to be able to keep, or is it going to just pass through? That's the problem. So the Satan here, who wants the Even HaShesiyah, he wants to control the Shechina, which is going to be pouring all Shefa, all during the 7 days of Sukkot, wants to stop that and take everything for himself. So we have here, we start seeing from the Pasuk, I'm going back to the Pasuk, that Hashem comes with an aftacha. Don't be scared, because here I'm going back to Avraham Avinu, the schus of Avram, in Chesed. So we are in Chesed. Ki basukos, again, this playing game. Basukos, basukos equals, here you got it, right? Bavarcha, mevarchecha, umkalelcha, or it's written without vav. So here we said the word basukos. Second word that gets my attention, copy. Equals 488. Equals, Kadosh Baruch Hu says, okay, I know you don't deserve. I know your Tshuva and Yom Kippur was not perfect. I know you Aseres Yom Tshuva, you were busy with your Parasha. You had this one, had this child here. This one had the school giving him problems. Except the children of Islam, everyone should find solutions and get Shefa and Parasha for all Bnei Israel. You have to know the money of Google and these stupid old internet companies is going through us. Is we don't have the schools to retain it. But it's for us. It's for Bnei Israel. And I'm not afraid to scream it loud and clear. And if people want to call me crazy for this, I don't mind. Because they put me in the assembly in what the Ari Kodesh wrote black on white. It's in the Zohar a few times. All these Shefa from the Shivim Zevim, from the 70 wolves, is from us. We should give them the crumbs, not eat the crumbs. So anyway, Hashem promises the promise of Yaakov in the Rachmim, lo yapecha velo yazveka. Kadosh Baruch Hu won't abandon you. All right. What am I supposed to do to obtain this? So what is the side in this pasuk? He tells me. Just want to give you a little proof of what we say here. You know what it is here? Here's the two friends here, husband and wife. They can be away from us. They can leave us alone. Female, male. Right away, a basukis. Hashem tells us. In missing the connection here. Vav is a connection. Why these guys are here? They're always around. Amalek is there, right here in the female. 2 times Amalek equals Lily. We know her name. We know her tricks. He gets his power from her, not from him. Esau got from him. That's why he was weaker. But Amalek is from her, and that's why he's much more powerful. I want to jump something. No, it's correct. It's a pasuk here. Hoishafti es bnei Yisrael. Hashem tells us he had to do something which we said we don't see in the pasuk. This is for Dr. Lasker, who loves the 11, the duality. So, Hoishafti es bnei Yisrael, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, I have to do it myself. We think that only because they were in 49 Sharai Tuma. No. For each one of us, every year, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will have to transport us into the Sukkah. Otherwise, we cannot enter it. We are not pure enough. Yud Aleph is always remind you the Yud Aleph Samemanim, meaning there's 10 impure, 1 pure to give them life. Zaf mean anger. The Satan comes here when he sees what's going to happen and the bounty that the Bnei Israel are going to receive during Sukkot, he loses it. He puts his life on the line. He doesn't care anymore. But these Jews cannot get this. Impossible for them to get this. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, I'll do you the same thing. That's why this Kavanah is so important. Be'itzi oisam me'eretz Mitzrayim. Hashem with this infinite chesed and matanas that he doesn't stop giving to people. I think it's 1:3. Hashem says, I know you have tried your best on Yom Kippur. I know the truth is you're human. And, you know, when the tightness is hard on a person and his stomach screams and he's thirsty and he's this and he has headaches, I know it's meant to be that way. It's not meant for you to break yourself down and say, I didn't do a good Yom Kippur, chas v'shalom. No. You have gone through the tightness. It's a tremendous mile already. You have been able to be in the davening, the tefillas, and answer Kaddish and Kedushas. You did 5 tefillas, tremendous. But it's not enough for what we have done the whole year. So Hashem says, I will be the one doing it for you. Because otherwise, you cannot enter the Sukkah. You understand why this kavanah is so important, but understanding the words of the pasuk. Not saying, oh, you know something? We have to remember because in history, HaKadosh Baruch Hu did it. No, HaKadosh Baruch Hu does it every year. And he didn't do it to my forefathers. He's doing it to me. Here in Miami, he's doing it to me. He's allowing me to go into the Sukkah, which is the name of Hashem, but in order to approach HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I have to be clean. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, okay, you're not that clean. You didn't do such a great job on Yom Kippur, you know, because you had a lot of mess. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, you know what? I'm going to do the cleaning. And he cleans you up. And this is the true kavanah that we have during when you sit down in the sukkah, that Kadosh Baruch Hu should be metaher. It's much higher level than the ne'ilah. When we go sit in the sukkah, every time we go sit in the sukkah and we're going to say, Baruch Ato Hashem Elokeinu Melech Haolam, Asher Kideshanu, B'mitzvoisa v'tzivanu leishev b'sukkah, the chair should rock. If you would know what happened at that time, what is HaKadosh Baruch Hu doing for you? Every time it's a layer, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is metaher and bring the person higher and higher. On Leil of the Seder, which is the night of the Seder, the Bnei Israel had to hope because they couldn't go out of Mitzrayim. They didn't have the schusim to go out of Mitzrayim. HaKadosh Baruch Hu brought the Anane Kovet Rabbi Yochel in the tomb of Mitzrayim to put them inside because they couldn't get in themselves. The night of the Seder, which is the only time this happens in the whole year, in any concept in Kabbalah, this never happens. You all of a sudden projected to the 50th gate of the Bina, and the next day you're 50 down. So you minus 50, you go plus 50, and then you go back down. Never happens. It's usually gradual, and then you end up getting where you're supposed to get. But here it's the only time. And why? But on Sukkot, we are there the whole time. There's no other time in the year where we will be in the Olam Haba HaElyon with the tzaddikim, if we have the merit that a tzaddik decides to have an ibur, meaning, I can't translate this word in English, it won't make any sense.
A leap year.
A what?
A leap year.
Say that again?
A leap year.
A leap year?
Yeah, Ibor Shana.
No. It's not the Ibor. It's an Ibor Neshama. It's like almost like a Gilgul is his neshama will be attached to yours, like we saw in the Parashas of Re with the Shechita. So on Sukkot is very likely to be able to fish also a tzaddik that's going to bring us light and bring us shefa and bracha, because he's going to become the light. The same way you have bulbs in the ceiling, he's our bulbs, and he's going to be shining upon us. And this is how we're going to get. So during Sukkot, it's very mesugel dika time in the Sukkah to chap a tzaddik, because they come visit the Sukkahs. Because for them usually to come down, that's why we never ask a mess, someone who departed this world, we never ask him to come visit us, because between his world and our world, there's only mazikim, there's only evil spirits, and he get hurt. It hurts him, you know, to he get hit and he get this, to come down here to visit a person. However, in Sukkot, there are channels from Gan Eden or Elyon to the Sukkot. That's why it's kedai to be makpid on the Sukkah, should be well done and everything, and then the tzaddikim can come down to the Sukkah like you back. They go join you. Tachoigu es Chag Hashem. So what we say, it's not our Chag, it's the Chag Hashem. If a person thinks on Sukkot he has in mind in his kavanah that he's doing, where is it? It's here. We said here in the pasuk, Tachoigu es Chag Hashem. Right? And we asked this question, why it's li before. I'm going to go very briefly in the li but this is the important part of the sukkah, the giant part. This equals 855 equals Yud K. When you see Yud K, get used to see already these things that we talked about before. These two, Yud K, Chachma Bina Absag, Abkasa, Venake, you know, whatever you want to call it, times Kel Yud K Vav K. And you will see the importance of this. We have the four worlds. Asiya, where we are, Yetzira, where the creation was, Beria, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu was boire from nowhere. It's Yesh Me'ayin. Atzilus, where HaKadosh Baruch Hu is, angels, whatever, don't enter. There are a few levels, but globally, these are the terms. So Yetzira, this is where Adam Arishan was. And this is where he was supposed to remain. There's a Gan Eden there. But there's also a Nachash there. There's a Etz HaChaim. But there's also the Etz HaDas. That's that type of Gan Eden there is there. Now, I should teach you the Yechudim of every world. I'm going to have to make another table. If I can go quick here, insert. A column. Insert. Column to the left. Okay. Here. Very simple. I'll explain you what he does. And this, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, when the name Kel from Chesed attach itself from the name of the Olam, of the world it is, because Aleph Dalet Nun Yud belongs to the Asiya. Yud Ke Vav Ke belongs to the Olam HaYetzira. Shakai belongs to the Olam HaBeriya. So when you attach him Kel Shakai, it becomes an elevator, it goes everywhere. The Satan comes here in force, and he wants to prevent us from entering the Sukkah. HaKadosh Baruch Hu here is giving us the power, is giving in our hand this yichud in the world of the Satan, and he's in own world. We're going to give him such a beating, he's going to run in the Tehoim. And we're going to be able to enter the Sukkah. Because we don't want him. That's why it says that the Chazal say that Rishon le'Avon, the first day of Avoinus is on Sukkot. Because as soon as we enter the Sukkot, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is mechaper everything. We are cleaner than we were on Yom Kippur. And on top of this, we having a sword provided. The Satan appears, we have the Kel Yud Ke Vav Ke. The Riyah Kodesh says, HaKadosh Baruch Hu not only cleans the avoidance, he uproots even the roots that brought up to that tree. So it doesn't only, he weeds off, basically. He doesn't kill the wheat, doesn't crack the wheat, he weeds it off. So what are you left with? Your habits. Your habits, you need to beat it. But the tendency to do that avon, you lost it. Now we understand what's behind this whole Chag Asif. And so we have Tevuascha, Yikvecha, Chag Asif equals 167. So we say Tevuascha, Yikvecha, Migornecha, Migvecha, the three things. If you take, so we have 3 harvests at that time. 167 times 3. 501. You know that name. You know you should be able, someone should be able to stand and finish the shir now instead of me. Hamalchus. Roish. Remember those letters? The inside? That the Shechina, the Malchus, when it says V'shachanti besoicham, where? Right here. That's why we have these letters here. Now you understand why it says in the pasuk, Tacheg li, because with Sukkot you become an Israel. When you become an Israel, you become Bani Matem Lashem Elokeichem. Now you can approach HaKadosh Baruch Hu and demand what you need to demand inside the Sukkah. You back to be an Israel. This is Chag Asif. Rebuilds you. This is what we said at the beginning. Tacheg li. The outer letters, whenever it says li, Hashem says li, not Lashem, he tells you, he points, the Shechina is over there, find it in the pasuk. We're talking about rebuilding you as a Ben Israel. What you haven't been able to do in Yom Kippur, even though HaKadosh Baruch Hu provides kapara, with a simple mitzvah of joy, and in the Sukkah for HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you're doing it. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu, amen v'amen.
Amen.
But here,
Don't forget to on record.
I don't remember how to do it. 1 second.
Turn off the recording.